Swansea people are such a great laugh. My mate from Swansea lost his middle fingers. And my other friends from Swansea, they were saying to him, don't, like, make a claim or anything, or any of that kind of, claims blame, like, oh, we're up a ladder fixing a fire alarm. Nobody had switched the gravity off. My mates from Swansea got my mate who lost his fingers back on his feet simply by calling him Phones for You. I love Swansea, because I'm South Walian, working class boy, black fillings. Yes. I know some people, you might be thinking, what's he talking about fillings, Sebastian? Is he talking about the meat you put in ciabatta? Nothing wrong with that, you're middle class. Well done, you. Although I dare say there's probably a few people in here thinking, ciabatta? What's ciabatta? It's the Wookiee that flew the Millennium Falcon. That's class, isn't it? And if you don't know what you are, there's an acid test. Go home tonight. If you've got a widescreen TV that is too big for your front room, you are working class. If you go home and you're pinned to the back wall watching it like this, and your mates come round and it's a source of great pride. Steve, come in, look at my TV, 187 inches, look at it. Look how big Inspector Morse is, he's 15 feet tall. And you're like, Dave, there's no doubt you've got the best TV on the market. Your problem is you haven't worked hard enough to buy the house to go round it. Nobody's house in the world should be 95% plasma, right? I'll tell you another one as well that my mates struggle with is wine lists. Who'd have thought? Wine list. Give my mates wine lists. Oh, what should we have, is it? Merlot, Chablis, Rioja, Rose. That's nice, they do flowers. What about this one for, actually? Wait, can we have a bottle of Peanut Gringo? The Welsh accent's a fantastic accent. It's a gift. It's a giddy mixture of friendliness and innocence. Which is why it sounds wrong if you say something like, I plan to take over the world through a series of complex financial transactions. But it sounds perfect if you go, ooh, look, a bumblebee. It's really difficult to say anything profound in a Welsh accent. I was in Spain with my friend, and I could see him sort of wandering down the promenade, all over the place. And I was like, how have you been, man? Look at the state of you. You've lost a flip-flop, right? And he looked at his own feet, looked back at me and growled in his accent, lost a flip-flop? Oh, found a flip-flop. Because we're not the only species on the planet that has accents, believe it or not. According to scientists at Birmingham University, if you believe in oxymorons. What's an oxymoron? I don't know, but ciabatta definitely flew the Millennium Falcon. Scientists at Birmingham, they found out that cows have Brummie accents. Can you imagine that? You just hear a cow. Moo. Moo. Or a Welsh cow. Moo. How great would that be? You're lost, your sat-nav's gone kaplunk, now all you do is you jump over a dry stone wall, pull a cow's tail to find out where you are, Are we in Liverpool? I know. Me? And the best thing? The best thing is, in Carmarthen Bay, which not far from here, Carmarthen Bay, they found that the dolphins have Welsh accents. Which I am sorry, I can understand maybe cows hearing something, picking up the Brummie accent, but how are dolphins getting Welsh inflections in their communication? You telling me locals are sticking their head in the water? Oh, hello. You're a big fish. How can you even test for that? Doctors, come in, Mr. Dolphin. Oh, what is it, doctor? Is it about my asthma? No, we're doing some vocab work. Wonder if you could read a few words off a card for us. We'll have a go, but I haven't got my glasses. Let's have a look, snooker, parallelogram, karaoke, and ratatouille. Yeah, got some news for you, Mr. Dolphin. I'm afraid we're going to have to diagnose you with a Welsh accent there. What? What? My inhaler. can I be Welsh? I've always been so careful. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because dolphins only make two noises. One's that kind of, noise which they produce by pushing their tongue into the roof of their mouth. And the other noise they make is that kind of, noise which they produce by twisting a small bottle of ibuprofen as they swim. Oh yeah, you watch dolphins, man, always messing about, telling knock-knock jokes to each other. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure, as ever, Swansea. Thank you very much. It's been a delight. Thank you very much. Good night.
Hello, Swansea. How are you? I'm so excited. I'm on TV. I've done radio. I did radio recently. They called me in to talk about the Madonna adoption fiasco, because whenever anything happens that's deemed to be black, they round a few of us up and give us a microphone and go say something. I'm just standing there going, I don't know. I agreed with the adoption, because I think Madonna's doing a lot for the country, because when she got David, she donated 1.5 million to the orphanage he came from. And then other people criticise that and say, well, what she's actually done is gone to Africa and buy a black child for 1.5 million pounds. And someone said to me, surely you find that offensive? I was like, not really. I find it exciting, because I've got 2 black kids at home. I can't lie to you, I skipped home that day. I was like, kids, you need to get your coats on. And their faces lit up. They were so excited. They're like, ooh, Mummy, where are we going? I was like, I don't know, but with a street value of 1.5 million each, you're not staying in my house. So that's cruel. I'm joking. I really am. If you'd met my kids, you'd realise that's a joke, because they are not worth that. I'm not one of those parents that lies. My children disgust me. Especially, more my daughter. My daughter's 14 years old now. Has anyone else here got teenage children? Yes. Do you hear that lack of enthusiasm? Yeah. Because it is. It's like, you know, you get a little baby, you take it home, and it's so sweet, and you forget it grows. And I feel like my daughter tricked me into keeping her. Because when she was little, she was so cute, and it's like she woke up on her 13th birthday and somehow got an attitude overnight. Like, everything that she does is over the top. And she came in at the end of last term, she kicked open the front door, and she was crying her eyes out. And I was really alarmed. I went, oh my God, what's wrong? She went, I hate my whole life. And I went, well, why? And she went, because I'm fat. I went, well, yeah. So could you at least have the common decency to be jolly? And it's not just me, she's starting to get in trouble at school. And I was called into her school because she graffitied another child's exercise book. And what she wrote on this book was, Lucy is an arsehole. I know, my firstborn, I was so proud. I don't like getting called to see my kids' teachers, OK? I don't know if we've got any teachers here at all. Any teachers? Oh, you're a teacher. Oh, well, I don't like you. And I've always had problems with teachers. I wasn't great at school myself. My dad actually sent me off to boarding school. They were sick of it. And he sent me to prep school in a place called Haywards Heath in West Sussex. Does anyone know it? It's nice around there, isn't it? It's quite villagey, it's quite posh, it's quite picturesque, and it's slightly racist, but in the nicest possible way. I've never suffered such classy racism in my entire life. Because my cousins grew up in East London. They'd tell me they'd walk down the street and people would shout stuff at them, like, you know, go back to where you come from. I never heard that in Haywards Heath. It was more like, return from whence you came. You've got to respect manners, really. So I'm called to see this teacher, and teachers make me nervous, and when I get nervous, I start laughing. So she's shown me what my daughter's written, and I'm on the floor absolutely wetting myself. Right? And she went, "Do you think this is funny?" I said, "Well, clearly." And they always blame the parents. She goes, "Oh, don't you think it's your job as a mother to stop her doing this kind of thing?" And I went, "But she's written Lucy's an arsehole, and she spelt it A-S-S-H-O-L-E, and that's an Americanism. So let's not talk about who can't do their job properly." I had quite an interesting experience recently surrounding that whole gollywog Carol Thatcher scandal thing, because I wrote an article in The Independent about it, and basically the gist of the article was, I don't want to be called a gollywog. And, you know, people slag racists off and say there's nothing good about them. I have to defend them just for now, because when I said I didn't want to be called a gollywog, some of these people actually sat down and took their time to email me alternatives. Some of them were quite inventive. Some guy called me a she-coon. It's outrageous. And then this other guy goes, "If you don't want to be called a gollywog, why don't you call yourself a niggerette?" And that's the one that puzzled me, because I had no idea that niggerette was a racial slur. I thought, right, that a niggerette was something like a patch that you would stick on the arm of a black man to wean him off white women. I have to go now. I think I should stop talking. Listen, you guys, thank you very, very much for listening. I'm Ava Vidal Alun.
That's blatantly me going, "Look at that, I'm on the telly in a suit." I'm quite excited. I'm not really a suit kind of guy, but I'm making an effort to grow up. I'm failing, I think. I'm making other efforts to grow up. I've started to watch News Night instead of News Round. That's about as far as I'm going. And even then, to be honest, sometimes I watch News Night all the way through, and then I get to the end and think, "Oh, shit, I forgot to listen." I've only gone and spent the whole of the programme wondering whether or not I really suit a hat. Which I don't think is what Paxman wants from a viewer, is it? It's difficult to watch the news at all at the moment, isn't it? Every day at tea time, shit yourselves! Worry now! Credit crunch! Recession! Panic! Worry now! What are you happily watching the news at tea time for, Alan? Do you not realise the gravity of the situation? We're all going to be actually dead by next Friday! I'm sure it'll be slower than that. I've got tins in. I mean, I've been affected by the worldwide economic downturn as well. I'm not immune to it. I found out on the internet last week that I bought the most expensive house on my street during November 2007, which I understand was arguably the most expensive month in recent property market history. And do you know what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to do what they'll never say on the news. I'm going to bloody live in it. That's it. I'm going to live in it. I'm going to use the house for its primary purpose as a domestic dwelling, and I'm going to ignore its resale value, its actual secondary purpose that we've been convinced in recent years is its primary. I'm just going to live in it. They'll never say that on the news. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they did? If they got a financial expert? What about all these people that are trapped in negative equity? Well, they could just live in it. Yeah, I suppose they could. We're going to have to go straight to the weather. I thought this bit would take longer. I'm not saying I've got the answers, by the way. I'd hate to be Prime Minister. I wouldn't want that job for all the money on earth. What a horrendous job that is. What thanks do they get? Everyone hates them, and everyone thinks they could do it better. You hear people all the time. "He's an idiot, this fella. What's he got to done that for? Why has he done this? He's an idiot. I could do that job standing on my bloody head." And you think, really? You? You're in a Wetherspoons at 3:30 in the afternoon, wearing a shell suit, with shoes. I don't know. Maybe I'm too grumpy to be Prime Minister. Not that I think I'm in the running for it, but I am increasingly a grumpy man. I travel around by train quite a lot, and I find that's where I get most misanthropic these days. I love train travel. It's brilliant, isn't it, when it's empty? That's a critical point there, isn't it? Other humans ruin train travel, don't they? Every horrendous train journey you've ever had has been packed. If it's delayed and it's empty, you can cope, can't you? And sometimes the train tricks you where it seems like it's going to be empty and then it gets very busy. I did one journey where I got on, it was a lunchtime journey from Manchester to London, so I took a gamble thinking this is going to be nice and quiet. I got myself a window seat at a table, 4 seats and a table, all to myself. And then I did that thing that I suspect we all do in those circumstances. Every passenger that got on, I just thought, piss off. 4 seats and a table, all to myself today. Daddy's hungover. But eventually the train got a bit busy and a woman sat next to me here and then a woman sat opposite her there and then a businessman got on, bit chubby, little bit of a beard, sat opposite me and he opened his laptop, reached into his bag, got out and ate a peach. Now, that's not the end of the story, but for the record, I think that's distinctly weird behaviour on a train. Who eats a peach on a train? That's a very soft fruit for public consumption, isn't it? I rarely eat a peach, but if I do, I don't eat it where there's 3 other human faces 1.5 feet away from mine, while Peach is pissing all down my work shirt. I'm staring at him thinking, why are you having a peach on a train? If you wanted the deliciousness of soft fruit, you could have had a little pot of raspberries. Pop, 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 and I'm still ready for my meeting. What's he doing? In fact, the rare occasions I do eat a peach, I don't do it on a crowded train. I tend to eat a peach standing over my own kitchen sink. Just with peach juice running all down my chin. Run, you juicy little bugger. I've got my own kitchen roll here. I own this place. Well, a tiny, ever-decreasing percentage of it seems. Let's not get depressed about loan-to-value and negative equity during a juicy peach. I'm staring at this guy thinking, you're having a peach on the train, you haven't even got any kitchen roll here. Someone's going to have a dribbly laptop for the next 2.5 hours, and not in the way you normally do. Come on, we know it happens. Grow up. He finishes his peach, right? Doesn't even look around as if this might be a weird thing to do in public, moves the stone from one hand to the other, reaches into his bag, gets out and drinks in 3 consecutive gulps a full can of Red Bull. A peach and a full can of Red Bull together, as if they go together. Fish and chips, salt and pepper, peach and Red Bull. I'm staring at him thinking, what kind of day could you possibly be anticipating that you think this is appropriate behaviour? Whoever thinks I need to feel healthy and really aggressively awake? Oh, God, maybe I've had too much caffeine on the train because now I feel wired and the table's penning me in, my face is right up against the window. This old bitch keeps bumping into me every time the pendolino tilts. Maybe I shouldn't have had all that caffeine on the train. And now I need a poo. Bloody peach. It's been a genuine pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for laughing at me. I'm Alun Cochrane. Cheers.
Did you know that sharks will only attack you if you're wet? It's a fact, that is. That's a fact. No, I've got to say, thank you for that welcome. What a fantastic welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. And I know a lot of comics will say this, but it is really fantastic for me to be here in Swansea. It's got a special significance for me playing Swansea because, because my stepbrother's real dad is from not far from here. So... in many ways, it's like a homecoming. Actually, you might be able to help me. The question something's always puzzled me about Tom Jones. You know Tom Jones? You know he sings that song, It's Not Unusual. And he goes, it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, it's not unusual to find out I'm in love with you. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know that second bit? Is that Welsh? Just have a bit of that. Reading the papers today, the government are very worried about childhood obesity. They're very worried about that. I don't know what they're going to do about it, apart from strengthening seesaws. I don't really know what they can do. Yeah? The weird thing is, have you noticed, a lot of these obese children, a lot of these obese kids, they wear trainers. That's odd, isn't it? You know? And I don't think they're doing it ironically, you know. They're going, ha ha ha. What am I like? This is true, it's absolutely true. My nephew goes to a school where if you don't like football or athletics or rugby, you can choose your own activities, and assume to suit your metabolism. And if I was the larger child, you know, which I think is the nicest way of putting it, if I was the larger child, I'd choose falconry. Yeah. It's perfect, isn't it? Just standing in a field with your arm out, waiting for the falcon to bring you some titbits. Oh, go for that. Now, get nachos. You've got to be very careful what you say. You know, on television, you can't allowed to swear. He said, OK, fair enough, you know, that's fair enough. I said, I might have to change some material, but I said, you know, it's fine, you know. So here goes. Robbie Williams, right? What a nincompoop. Oh, he's such a nincompoop, isn't he? In fact, I go as far as to say he's a flipping nincompoop. The twat. He is, isn't he? Do you know what drives me mad about him? He's always got his shirt off, hasn't he? Like that, when he's on stage. He's always walking around with his shirt off, like that. Like that. Yeah. What's the matter with you? You're a pop star, not a scaffolder. He's walking around. If he could, he'd stick his cock in all our faces, wouldn't he? And you, I'm Robbie Williams. It's not because I'm prudish. It's not because I think, oh, a gentleman should always wear a shirt when he's serenading the ladies. No. But if you went to a party, right, and there was a bloke wandering around with his shirt off like that, you wouldn't think, oh, I can't wait to meet him. No. You'd think, uh-oh, the world wanker champion has arrived. He's just beaten Chris de Burgh in the final. And sometimes, mate, he's got no shirt on and a scarf. Someone who's got no shirt and a scarf has spent a little too long getting dressed, I think. Trying on shirts, tucking it in, I don't like that one, put that one on, no, I don't like it. Oh, I just won't wear anything. Ooh, a bit chilly, put scarf on. Well, maybe I'm being harsh on him. Maybe it's just because, right, he's using the wrong fabric softener. Yeah. Probably a cat full of Febreze in his wash. Turns out he's a great bloke. Yeah. You don't get punchlines like that every day, do you? I don't get a lot of stuff nicked. Thank you. Now, one of the great things about doing this job, travelling around the country, you get to see what people think about stuff. And one of the things I'm quite interested in at the moment is how people feel about the environment. Is that something you care about here in Swansea? Yeah, oh, well, that's good. That's very positive. That's very upbeat. But no, I do. I do. I really care a lot. I'm quite interested as to why some people really, really care and other people couldn't give a shit, do they? They don't care at all. They just don't care. Some people, quite happily, they'd fly to the shops, wouldn't they? If EasyJet did a "we'll fly you to the shops" deal. Brilliant, I'm in. I can bring back more patio heaters. So the cat's nice and warm in the garden. While their neighbours could be shivering, drinking puddle water, chucking a sausage backwards and forwards, trying to heat it up. Come on. Because some people really care, don't they? Every single piece of environmental news terrifies them, like the ice caps are melting, sea levels are rising, The samba button on a Yamaha organ uses 10 times more energy than any other rhythm. Turn it off! And I care, I do care, I care a lot, actually. I care a lot. Well, not as much as I used to, because I went to America. Right? When I came back, I thought, what's the point? You know? Why do I bloody bother? Because the consumption levels over there are so much more extreme. You know, I just feel stupid now, really. You know, I'm at home recycling, washing out Marmite pots, you know. Must get all the Marmite out so they don't have to make another one. And they're drilling for oil in Alaska, mopping up with a seal pup. I just feel stupid. I feel like I've turned up at an earthquake with a dustpan and brush. Can I help at all? Will you do all that? I'll do this little bit here. Feel better now. I do. I make a big effort. I get the train as much as I can. And I'm really shocked about how crap the trains are in this country. They're amazing. The standard, the quality of the trains is... I would say at least half the trains I get, you still can't flush the toilet when the train's at the station. I think that's incredible. It's 2009... and we're still crapping on the track. With all the technology we've got, they can't come up with a toilet that can be used whenever's necessary. At the moment, it's not even a toilet. It's a hole in a train. They don't have this problem on planes or coaches, do they? I've never driven up the M1 behind a coach and gone, oh, no! That's disgusting. I'm getting out of this lane. Whoa! Well, surely they can get someone to help them with this problem, you know? Get someone in, you know, like the iPod guys, yeah. Because they took something that was bulky and inconvenient, didn't they? Your record collection. Used to take up an entire wall in your house, didn't they? But they shrunk it all down. Little iPod, wow. Or the mini chicken Kiev guys. Where were their minds at? That was fractal, man, because nobody wanted to eat chicken Kiev, didn't they? I don't want that sloshing around inside me. A little one? Oh, could be tempted, yeah. Oh, it's disgusting. Much better than my idea. Massive chicken Kievs. I went the other way. They were huge, you could stand on them. Look at these. Yeah. That was a great episode of The Dragon's Den. They didn't invest. Because I love that show, but they hardly ever invest in anything, do they? They just go, it's rubbish, you're mental, go away, you're a loony. You know? So I don't think they should do, because if you look in the shops, right, there's so many weird, stupid products for sale which people are quite happy to buy. They should probably let most of the stuff through. You know? I mean, there's a lot of products out there, I think that wouldn't get through the Dragon's Den. You know, if you went on the Dragon's Den and said, I've got this idea of these little castles, right, and they go in goldfish bowls. So the goldfish has got a little castle to swim around. They'd go, what a goldfish got to do with castles? You're mental, you are. That's like putting an anchor in a rabbit hutch. What's the matter with you? But I bet if you sold them in pet shops, say, what's that? Oh, it's an anchor for your rabbit hutch. I don't want one of those, yeah. He loves that anchor. Yeah. Pebble dashing. If you went on the Dragon's Den, said, I've got this idea. You know your lovely brickwork? I'm going to cover it all in cement and stones. So your house looks shit. Yeah. With the added bonus, you don't get burgled. Argos. If you're on the Dragon's Den with the idea for Argos, I've got this idea for a shop, right? It's got everything in it, but you're not allowed to see it. You've been a fantastic crowd. Thank you very much. And good night. Thank you.